Hi everybody, this is Cathy Naiser with the Naiser Real Estate Group, and this is my first edition of the video series, This Crazy Market. Back in 2020 when COVID hit, I started watching numbers. I started comparing them to what happened in 2019 in the real estate market. I wasn't sure what was going to happen with all that followed, but I knew something would. So I started tracking numbers, and with those numbers now, I've been able to put together some pretty good information. So watch now as we talk about where we are right now in mid-July 2021 and where we've been. So when we talk about numbers, I like to show them so you can see them and you're just not hearing numbers. I'm watching a lot of numbers, but the ones that I'm seeing the biggest changes in are in three different groups. Monthly active listings, how many houses are actually on the market in the San Antonio MLS, San Antonio and surrounding areas, so that means Bexar County, Comal County, Guadalupe County, Kendall County, Wilson County, Guadalupe County, they're all around, Atascosa County. And then we also look at monthly solds. How many real buyers there were that went to closing and closed that month. Now we get the stats out on the 15th of the month for the month before. So right now in July, we are looking at the June stats. And then we're looking also at the monthly new listings. How many new houses came on the market? So let's start before COVID. 2019, the year before COVID, there were 10,407 active listings on the market. I want you to remember that 10,000 number. There were 3,352 sold listings in June, and there were 4,285 new listings in June. So the difference between the houses available and real buyers closing was 7,055. That means there were a lot more houses than buyers ever wanted to buy. Some of them were in not good condition. Some of them were overpriced. But there were 7,000 extra houses that never got bought, almost every year. There were 933 more new listings than there were real buyers that closed. Those are important numbers to remember. Now let's go to June during COVID, during the height of COVID. Remember that 10,000 number? In June during COVID, that went down a little bit, 8,088 active listings. That's 2329 less than pre-COVID, but that's not down that whole 7,000 number. There were 3,985 sold listings in June. That's interesting because that's actually 469 more than during COVID. That's huge. So buyers started buying up like crazy. Interest rates were low. Buyers were in from out of state. There were 3,821 new listings during the height of COVID in June. That was just 300 less than the pre-COVID. So there were still 3,821 new houses coming on the market. Some people say, well, there's no houses on the market. Oh, yes, there are. So they're almost the same number of new listings as before COVID. There were just more sales. Interest rates were lower. And again, we had some out-of-town buyers. Now let's look at, I think May and June of this year are slightly different, and I'm seeing some changes, so I want to show you both. So May, COVID is relaxing now, but it's not over. This month, we have 4,403 active listings. That's 4,278 less than May in COVID, so we've gone down even more this year, and 6,000 less than pre-COVID. It's all those extra 7,000 houses that were on the market. Some of them took their house on the market. Some people who were just tire kickers before COVID, just putting their house out to sea, and it was way overpriced. That's part of that 7,000 that never sold. In May of this year, 3,669 houses sold. That's actually 800 more than last year sold. And it's 79 more than before COVID. Those numbers start really hitting home here. It says our market's pretty healthy right now. 48 new listings in May. That is 631 less than pre-COVID. Only 631. There are plenty of listings out there. And there are 163 more than in May during the height of COVID. So the market is changing. Lots of houses and new houses coming on the market. So let's look now at June. So in June of this year, we had 5,021 active listings. So we're starting to go up. We're on the way back up. We had 618 more than May of this year. So it's gone up just in 1 month. There were 4,161 sold listings in June. That's actually 340 more than last year. And look at this, 809 more sold houses than before COVID. Lots of buyers buying. 4,604 new listings in June. That's 619 more than last year. It's actually 319 more than COVID June, more than pre-COVID June. So 319 more houses on the market now, sellers willing to sell, new listings coming on than before COVID in June. And it's 456 more than May of this year. So what does this all mean? There are more houses selling than before COVID ever hit. There are more new listings each month now than before COVID. There are more active listings than last month, but there are still way less than before COVID. Before COVID, we may have had way too many extra listings on the market. So right now, we have 443 more new listings than we have real buyers closing, and we have some that are sitting still. So I hope these numbers have helped. What they tell me is that things are getting better, and buyers are not having to chase quite as hard as they did perhaps in April and May. There are plenty of houses out there, and when buyers want to buy, they simply need to use a new strategy. Now, are there less houses before? Yes, but those houses weren't selling. Thanks for watching this video. Continue to watch each month and get the real numbers of what's happening. And certainly if we can help you with real estate, call us at 210-844-6434.